lovely Matthew, not the lovely Dymphna Ferran. And Dymphna hails from Dungannon. She's crossed the Blackwater. And she began writing poetry at the age of 57. At 80, she is still performing them in venues in Tyrone, Armagh and Derry. Fair play to you. I think that deserves a round of applause. And I can definitely testify for this. She brings laughter through her yarns and her poems to all these different venues. She is brilliant. She comes to our open mic night in where is it again? Abbey Lane Theatre. Thank you, Malky. And honestly, she's our closing act of it. She sends us all home with a smile on her faces. Now, this is her first submission to Flash Fiction, and it's called His Guarding Angel. Big welcome for Dymphna.
First of all, I'd like to apologise for the disruption and thank Alan for his help and the other lad that rearranged us here. I know Malky Kelly told him not to, but it's all right. I'm unused to reading from a sheet. As I say, when I do poetry, I do it from memory. So I hope I can read it. So if you happen to hear the word Stewartstown, you know I didn't recognise my own writing. Here goes, hope for the best. His guardian angel. The boy's eyes gleamed. Pushing pedals faster, he circled the yard. His granda had promised to remove the stabilisers next week if he kept practising. In the middle of another figure eight, he heard a whirling noise of machinery. The sudden contact of his hand on the brake almost sent him over the handlebars. There were tractors in the long meadow. What's happening? He asked himself. They shouldn't be there. His grandfather had said it would always be a nature reserve. Granda had said it was his reward after moving north when he retired from the hustle and bustle of life at the engineering plant down south. Even with stretching his neck and balancing on tiptoe, the hedge obscured his view. All he could see was the top of 3 red tractors. Their white diesel smoke making weird shapes against the skyline. Indoors, the crash of handlebars on tarmac echoed in his ears, as his 8-year-old legs, still in cycling mode, thumped the wooden stairs. Bursting through his bedroom door, he made straight for the window seat. From here he could see the whole meadow. The metal blades of the ploughs attached to the tractor churned the soil, scattering brown earth detached from lush green grass. He didn't know what was happening, but he knew he had to stop them. I need a plan of action, he thought, sliding from the window seat. Grandad, he thought, he'll know what to do. After all, it was Grandad who had told him stories of the guardian angels who lived in the secret mountain while they weren't guarding everyone. He loved the idea of having a guardian angel. He quizzed his grandad about them on their walks in the meadow. He still remembered last summer when he asked, "Where is the secret mountain, and how do you get there?" His grandad had said, "It's a good distance away. Why do you want to know?" He sighed. "I wished it was near." "Well," said grandad, "you could build your own secret mountain and ask your angel to stay there." He had waited on till his grandad sat down on the grassy bank and closed his eyes to take a nap. The walk in the meadow always seemed to tire him. He already knew where he was going to build his mountain. A sweet, tangy aroma came from the hedgerow as he yanked a sturdy branch from its woody frame. Using both hands, he plunged deep into the marshy ground, making a hole. Taking a quick look over to his grandad and noting the rise and fall of his chest, he took a crumpled envelope from his pocket and placed it in the hole. He brushed the soil back in, creating a mountain, although it was just a mound. He found his grandad in the kitchen. Grabbing hold of his arm, he tugged him onto his feet. "Come quick," he said. "They're digging the long meadow." Placing an arm around his shoulder and drawing him close, his grandad said, "Don't worry. Your angel has been with you all morning. What about my mountain? Is there any of it left? His grandad wrapped his fingers around the envelope with the childish scrawl in his pocket and replied, I'm afraid it's all gone, along with any secrets it might have held. He had watched his grandson place the envelope beneath the mound and had returned to the meadow later to see what it was that made his grandson need a guardian angel. Tears wet his lined face as an iron hand clasped his heart as he read the childish scrawl. Please, don't let my uncle come to my room and hurt me. It had done little to ease the pain when he had sent his son down south to fix an emergency at their plant. His feet slowly dragged the ground as he returned to the kitchen. Lifting the lid of the range, he dropped the envelope into the flames. Then he made 2 phone calls. It was time for another crisis. As for the second call, sweat formed on his brow and his hand shook as he dialed 999.